all doing well this Monday. It is a bit dreary here in North Idaho, and I am going to do some dishes today while we are chatting. I have some fabulous praises to share with you guys. I wanted to also show you, I've done some rearranging here. I strive to use my space in the best possible ways I can. And sometimes that requires trial and error and determining what works best to start with, and then you kind of modify as you go. And that's what we've kind of been doing in here. You've seen the growth of our cabin from the ground up, and now we're fine-tuning the insides, and I'm real excited because I got a lot more organization in place this morning, and it makes me happy. I like being organized. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm organized, things flow very well. You don't have all those stresses because there's things just sitting around and cluttering you. Hey, Miss Betty Horn, welcome. I'm so glad you're joining me live. That's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm gonna wash my hands here and I'll show you guys what I did. While we're chatting today, I'm gonna do dishes. I need to be productive at the same time because we have stuff today going on and I have an appointment later, so I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. But let me share with you what I did today. Let me see who else is on here. Okay. If you're out there watching, please share where you're joining from and share your name, because it's so nice to get to meet everybody. But this is what I did this morning. This dresser, I don't know if you guys recall what was in here, but this table right here was this way, and I had a metal and wood rack here that was from Longaberger, and it was working okay, but we didn't have a lot of storage. And when you live in a small space, it's nice when you can have spaces for storage so you don't have a lot of clutter. Like even all these cords, that kind of drives me crazy, but I'm still fine tuning. But this is what I did today. This dresser used to be my standing desk in my office on the other homestead. So it was in the container waiting to be utilized possibly in one of our guest cabins. Well, I brought that in, and that enabled me to give us storage space for some of our things, because we do our devotions down here and it's really nice to have our Bibles and our journals handy. And so there's a her drawer and a his drawer, an empty drawer. Isn't that awesome? You know, I don't know that I've had that too often in my life. I also have empty cupboards right now. So it's pretty awesome that you have empty space in such a small space. I also use this space down here for storage. There's some potatoes and a pumpkin, extra water, and here is that's actually a chamber pot, an old agate chamber pot that I use for trash bags, grocery store bags, and my tea light candles. But this just organized this space so nice. So when you can take the time to create spaces for yourself that are comforting and make it easy on the eyes, easy on just enjoying that space, it just makes life so much easier. And those are kinds of nice things that we can put in place so that we can have good routines and create good habits and don't have all the clutter. So I just wanted to share that today. You guys have heard me talking a lot about decluttering and downsizing and the joys of that. And truly there is great joy in decluttering and organizing things, because when you have things organized, your space is so much more welcoming and inviting. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm surrounded by clutter, it just weighs me down. Plus, it screams at me that it needs to be taken care of. So when you don't have that, it makes it really, really nice. So I wanted to share some of my praises today. Last week, the question on my last live on Thursday was, how is Austin? And I shared that we were praying for provisions, that he has switched his direction of going into the missionary field. Rather than a pilot and a aviation mechanic right now, he is going in as an automotive mechanic. So he is still continuing his schooling at Moody for the Bible side and missionary side of things. And he started going to school, or will be on April 5th, at the community college, which is right there as well. So everything is very close to him. It's very awesome. It's a perfect setup for him. And we got him registered. He's registered for all his courses. Payment was due Friday. Now, right now, with the build of our home, we did not have those funds to help him. And he has not been able to find work up there. His first term at Moody was very, very grueling. It's just a lot in a small amount of time. And his next term is going to be pretty grueling as well. He's got courses every day from 7:30 to 1. So it's pretty intense. And if you've got homework involved in there and additional electives and such, it's hard to have time for work. It would definitely be a part-time job. And we were praying, and he put in so many applications between Thanksgiving, the end of his term, to the beginning of this term. And nothing materialized. With COVID, things were so hard to get into. So we've been praying really hard, and we put these circumstances at the feet of Jesus. And Thursday, I will be very honest, I went in there reluctantly because I'm trying to figure out how I could pull this off for this kid and keep him moving forward. And I was going in there to see what the balance was as to what our payment would be, because you have to pay half of it, and then the other half is in like a very short time frame as well. So I went in there and I looked, and as I'm going in there reluctantly, the last thing I said is, you know what, God is going to over provide. And I go in there, and Austin owed $2,045 for his first term. And okay, Tammy, we will pray. I will check your message right now. Oh, praying. I hope everything's okay. So when I went in there, Austin received a grant for $2,100. I just started crying happy tears. I was praising God instantly. That is just so amazing. So we are working on his rent and his phone bill and his $1,000 worth of books for his first term right now. But God is good. God is providing. God is proving that he is walking out God's will, and he is in God's, God's leading him and in the direction. I know, I'm so excited. It was so awesome. Oh gosh. Oh, wow. Tammy, we're definitely praying. Can I share on here, please? Is that okay? I just want to check first. Hello, Toika. Good afternoon. I almost said morning. I don't even know what time of day it is anymore. Oh, Tammy, we're definitely praying. Okay, awesome. So Tammy's daughter, Hope, who joins me every Friday on the Kids Corner for the book reading, fell today and hit her head, and she's just jumbling words. So Tammy's husband is taking her to the ER. So please pray for Hope and pray that everything is okay there. Oh, that's so scary. That's so scary. And she's had other struggles before. So definitely praying. You know what? I'm just going to stop and pray. Papa, I just ask that you wrap your loving arms around Hope. Just put a hedge of protection over her. Just heal her and touch her, and just allow no damage to be done, and just allow things to go very smoothly over there, and just keep your hand on her, and give Tammy and the family just peace and comfort while they get this sorted out. And we love you and just lift Hope to you right now. And we love you and ask this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Oh, that's so scary. I hate that kind of stuff. With our kids, it's just so heart-wrenching. And yes, Toika, God is so good. God is going to take care of Hope. And but God is so incredibly good. The mountain man is here. He ran an errand for me. But this is my other praise. My other praise is that my husband is alive. He was doing some fabrication work last week. And typically on these types of jobs, there's a lot of hands in the pot. And they've all got to check in before anything gets turned on and so forth. Well, the big wigs were there and were really wanting to push things along, and they were in a hurry, and they didn't check. And I'm just praising God. I mean, he told me this, and my stomach just instantly felt like it went into a raisin, and it just sunk. I felt that way for like 3 days following. It was just terrible. But there was a big arm underneath the machine, and he was in a bent position tightening things up, and thankfully the arm moved slow, and he was also toward the edge of the machine that he could jump out of the way rather than being in. Had he been a foot further in the machine or bent down a foot further, really reaching, he would have come home in pieces that day. Possibly 3. So it was just terrible. And of course he says to me, I was totally at peace with everything. I was totally good. I knew where I was going. I knew you were going to be taken care of. And I'm just like, what? So God is good, and God is present, and God is taking care of us, whether we feel it or not when we're walking through journeys and valleys. I just want to remind you guys to keep your eyes on him through the good, the bad, and the ugly. If he was here, he'd do his whistle. Honestly, guys, he is always present, and he will always take care of us. So, as soon as you've got instances, Tammy knew where to direct it. We got to keep lifting our prayers to him and communicating with him. He is there. He does hear. He will listen. So don't lose sight of that. And I want to hear your praises as well. And thank you all for praying for hope. We will continue to pray, Tammy, and just update us as things go on. And hello, Miss Carol. Hello, Miss Laura. We got Laura in the house. All right, awesome. I'm so glad to have you guys joining me today. There's some really good stuff going on, and I want to share it with you. If you guys are not currently participating, there is something called the Homestead Open House. It's a virtual summit. I was asked 2 weeks ago to participate in it and was feverishly recording videos last week. That's what I was recording for. And it started on Sunday. I shot a... Okay, awesome. Tammy says she will when she hears. Awesome. Yes, please keep us updated. That's so scary. And Hope is such a sweetheart. But the open house started on Sunday. I sent that out in my newsletter, but you can still participate, and it's really very awesome. I'm very impressed. It's done very well, and I was fortunate enough to participate with 22 other people, and they are from all over the country, not just the United States. So it's really awesome to get a lot of feedback from different places, and it's really awesome. So check it out by going to trayerwilderness.com/homestead open house. Links are down below for everything I'm going to share today. Betty says, I have something, but I will message you. I'll explain there. Okay, awesome. I will look at it. That's fabulous. Carol says, hope everything is okay, Tammy. Yeah, Tammy's daughter, Hope, fell and hit her head. And Tammy's husband is taking her to the ER because she was just kind of like jumbling words. She wasn't making any sense. So they're getting her checked out now. So hopefully we'll hear something soon on that. But so scary. So scary. I want to share something else today, which I think is just so awesome. I am so excited to see God being brought into things and into our world. There's so much dishevelment, so much chaos, so much weird stuff going on. It's surrounding us, but you always hear me saying, keep your eyes on God, keep your eyes on the positive, see the gratitude in your life. There's reason for that. The more we do that, the better our lives will be while we're walking this out. But it's really awesome to see God being brought into things, and that's what we need to do. He's been removed from so much. We need to continue to pray him back into our lives, our families, our schools, our government, our politics. Everything. We need to pray him into this world. He's being shoved out of it. And right now, there is a webinar being done tomorrow, and I love this. It is called Meaningful Daily Time with God. How awesome is that, right? I'm just so excited when I saw that. So it is tomorrow evening, Tuesday, March 16th, at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can go to trayerwilderness.com/spend time with God. You guys have heard me saying that over and over and over again, but I'm even going to participate in that just to see what they're sharing. I am a sponge for knowledge. I love being able to learn something new that's out of the box, that isn't of the norm, and, you know, something that I would normally do. You know, there's always things to learn. There's always lessons to learn. You know, we've been homesteading for 11 years. We've been living, you know, a traditional form of life our whole lives. So, you know, I got on the summit on Sunday and I instantly learned things and got ideas from the very first class they had. There's always something to learn from each and every one of us. We all have things to share. So I highly encourage you guys to check that out. The link is down below. And again, it's TrayerWilderness.com/spend time with God. And it's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I thought that was really awesome. The other thing I wanted to share this afternoon, I'm so confused. I'm so used to going live in the morning, is, and Carol, I got a praise for Carol. Toyka shared last week the green stalk that she purchased. It's a vertical growing system. And you can find that by going to TrayerWilderness.com/greenstalk, STALK. But Carol contacted me and she got a little mini greenhouse because the Grow Your Own has bit. And she is going to grow some of her own things. So I'm like so excited. So it's awesome. It's awesome to see you guys embarking on these things and being willing to try new things and hearing what we're saying, because I really truly feel, guys, we need to really be becoming more self-reliant, more self-sufficient, and being aware of what we need to do for ourselves and our families. You know, last year was a really good indicator and an eye-opener for many of you, in that you didn't have everything you needed, some of which was toilet paper, when everything started to go crazy. So that's an indicator that we need to be paying better attention and aware of what we need to do for our families. Okay, Betty, can I see your message just came through? Am I able to share that with the audience to pray for you? Let me know. Carol says, I'm so excited, and Lorenzo has got his little gardening tools too. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. That little boy is so cute. And I was just so super excited because, you know, one of the things that I valued so much on my homestead was being in the garden or doing really anything. Okay. Okay. So, guys, if you could just please pray for Betty. Betty Horn is a dear friend. She has not been on our lives, I don't think, before. I've known her for years through our online presence, and she is she's one of the community. So if you guys could please lift her in prayer, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And Betty, I'll message you later then, personally. Hello, Miss Deb. Hello, hello. So let me jump back here. So the green stalk was the thing that I was mentioning. And when you click on that, you'll see all kinds of different types of vertical growing. You know, that is one of the best ways to utilize small spaces. So if you have, you know, just a small little flower bed and you want to be able to gain as much out of it and grow as much out of that as possible, vertical growing is going to be your way to go. So check those out. The green stalk is actually something very similar to what we were using. They are tiered containers that drain into one another when you water, and is really useful for growing all kinds of things. I use that a lot for my greens, for like lettuces and even sprouting things. I use them in the winter months as well. So those are a great item to have, and we are really stoked. We walked our property on Sunday, and it was gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. And we were just kind of unwinding. We both had a really crazy week, so we just were unwinding and looking things over and making plans. And today's topic is routines and habits. And it kind of falls into place because when you make a routine and a habit out of planning and goal setting and Oh my goodness. The enemy is attacking today. That's terrible, Shelly. I'm so sorry. I hope everything's all right. We will send up prayers for you as well. Shelly said sorry she had to call the police because her daughter showed up. So everybody, if you could lift Sarah and Shelly, that would be awesome, please. Carol says, Lorenzo said I have to buy a sprinkle can, Lowell. He means a watering can. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good question, Carol, because it is a hard thing to deal with when you're in that situation. She asked if Shelly's okay. Deb says, so excited to plant my 3 green stalks. Got one for a friend in a wheelchair for her patio. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. They're easy to maintain. They're easy to work out of. And I want to remind you guys something. In anything that you embark on that is new, when you run into struggles and things don't go as you thought they would, or things flop, don't quit. That's the kind of stuff that happens. When you are embarking on journeys, you're going to have failures, you're going to have wins. When you have the failures, if you feel that there might be something you could have done differently, ask in our community. We have a very well-versed group of people in our community that have had gardens for years, and we've got resources and tools. So don't hesitate if you run into struggles. Don't quit, but ask questions and get involved, because we've got a lot of people that can easily give you information. Shelly says, I'm fine, but the management of the trailer park has told us that if she keeps showing up and we do not call the police, we will be evicted. Oh, that's so terrible. Was she real disruptive, Shelly? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, the green stalks are really awesome. They are really, really awesome. I looked up green stalk, like I said. What you have there and what we have here are different, even names. Nothing I looked up at knew what the green stalk was. Are you able to purchase off of Amazon, Carol? The link I have today takes you to Amazon, but of course that's Amazon in the US. So I'm not sure how that transitions over when you use those links. But what you got is really cool. I think Carol's going to share pictures in the group, in the community, so you can see what she has. It's a really cool little thing, and she and her grandson are going to do it together. So I think that is just so awesome. I might need to leave when the officer shows up. All right, well, we will be praying for you, sister. I'm sorry you're having to go through that again. Awesome. Mama T is joining us. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Mama T, pray for Hope also and Betty. Hope fell today. It's Tammy's daughter, Hope. She fell and hit her head. Mama T is very familiar with those kinds of incidents. The mountain man gave her a run around with head injuries, but she fell and hit her head and was just jabbering. She wasn't making any sense. So they took her to the ER just a little bit ago. And Betty needs some prayers too. Mama T is a powerful prayer warrior. Carol says, yes, I have Amazon and eBay, but your names are different. Okay. Well, and if you look up a vertical growing system, guys, you're going to find, if you're in other countries, look for vertical growing, vertical gardening, and you should be able to find a lot of different resources there. So hopefully that is helpful. But today's topic was, it spurred me, and I want you guys to share your praises and your prayers. We've had a lot of those already, but I shared my praises earlier with Austin, and that is just so fabulous. And we're going to see God's hand in everything that we're doing, especially when we are in tune and paying attention to it. And that is what I will be reading about a little bit later. But routines and habits are really important. We have routines and we have a lot of habits in place. All right, Betty. Love you. Glad you could join us for a little bit, and you can count on our prayers, all of us. Love you, girl. And keep in touch and keep me posted, please. We have habits and routines in place, but our days are never the same. But we still follow the same kind of routine. I know that doesn't make any sense, but there's certain things, that I've talked about before that I guard. Our devotion time, our time with God, my journaling time, my writing time. Thanks, Deb. Deb says praying for all in need. Yeah, the enemy is definitely attacking today. That's really clear. My praise is that the same manager told me that they will be paving half of the park to make it safer for the elderly that live here. Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome. It's good that they're caring for their people. Good praise. Good praise. And the other praise too is, like I said, seeing God being brought into so much more in our country. There's so much else being thrown in our faces, but when we can see God in the midst of things, it's just so amazing. And seeing him brought into so much more, and so many more people speaking their faith and not being afraid to hide it under a basket. I mean, so for so many years, you've watched people hiding their faith because they're afraid of what other people are going to think. They're afraid of offending people. And right now, no matter what you do anymore, you offend somebody, it appears. So, I feel that we should be wearing our faith on our sleeve and sharing it as much as we possibly can. So I say that again for those of you that are just jumping on. There is a webinar tomorrow night, and it is titled 5 Steps to Meaningful Daily Time with God. And you can find it by going to trayerwilderness.com/spend time with God. The important thing for each of us is to have a routine that works for us. We all have varying different lives and creating different habits. You hear me talking about that all the time. You've heard me encouraging you guys to spend time, 5 minutes every day with God, and make it a habit. 21 to 30 days, you can create a brand new habit. I'll share with you. You know how last year I was writing with my left hand, and I was retraining my brain, and I was writing in my journal with my left hand. We took the mountain boy out for dinner on Friday. Got to spend time with him. And I'm trying to dip sauce onto my food, and I'm trying to figure out why I was having a problem and it was making such a mess. And I realized that my left hand took over, and I was using my left hand. I'm right hand dominant, but my left hand, because I've been retraining it and working with it, is actually like taking over at times. So we can, it may not, I was going to say easily. We can easily make it happen, but it might take a little bit of effort. Let's put it that way. But I like having the certain routines in my life and creating certain habits. We all have, doesn't that webinar sound awesome? I love it. Welcome, welcome. I can never pronounce your username, so I apologize, but I'm really glad you're here. But yeah, doesn't that sound awesome? I'm like so excited to see that. I'm so excited to see stuff like that crossing my desk. And those are not people that are typically doing faith-led things. So how awesome is that? It's to me, that just is another sign that there's so much hope in our world. So don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of the hope. But with creating routines and habits, when you create a routine of constantly journaling or constantly, amen, Mama T. She says routines help decrease stress, and that's what I am striving for. I want as much of a stress-free life as I can. Like I showed this earlier, and some of you weren't on yet, I don't think, but I created a little bit different of a space today to give me less stress, because I don't like clutter. And this was working out nice, but we needed a place to store things. When you live in a tiny space, you need spaces to store things. That bottom drawer is still empty. I'm like praising God for that. We live in a tiny space, and there's empty cupboards and empty drawers. So, but to create a space that gives you comfort, that makes it easy. That's my drawer, that's his drawer, our Bible's in there, my journal's in there. So we sit here, we eat breakfast together, we do our devotions together, and our space is comforting. I need that. I need that so much in my life. And I want to just remind you guys to seek those things in your life and to create those routines and habits that suit you and your life. And the other thing is, like I said, we were walking our property Sunday, and really ironing out some details. And it was such an awesome thing to be able to do that, make our goals, make our plans. All of them. Not all of them are going to happen this year. Some are short term, some are long term. But to be able to create those lists and to put those things in writing makes them foundational and makes them something that will take place and happen rather than keeping it in here and forgetting about it. Once you write them down, those things become concrete and inspiration starts to flow for those things. It's really amazing. So I wanted to encourage that today, to focus on the bad habits you have and try to adjust those and turn those into good habits and create yourself a routine that works for you. I like getting up earlier in the morning. I am a morning person, and when I do things in the morning, I have much greater success than if I were to do them in the evening. I enjoy going to bed before 10 o'clock so that I can get up early. So, putting routines in place, my devotions, I treasure that time. And when I'm doing dishes, I'll either talk with you guys or I will listen to a podcast or a class I'm taking. And the Mountain Man has his own little routines too. That's exactly what you look like. Here, pull your beanie off. It's hot in here now. It's warm. Look.
Yeah.
He's alive. That was my praise today. We need to pray for Hope. Hope fell and hit her head and was just jumbling words. She wasn't making any sense. So JJ took her to the hospital.
Okay.
So, and there's a couple others too that need prayer. Whoops, I'm showing you my cupboards. So, you made it back alive in one piece.
I'm in one piece.
Carol's on here. So's your mama.
Hey, Mama.
Oh, hey, Mountain Man. Lorenzo was so excited to see you. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's cool. Here, we'll spin it. Hi, Lorenzo.
Hi, Lorenzo.
And I think Bridger and, oh my goodness, Tristan are on there probably too. Tammy's got the boys today.
Bridger.
Let me see. Remember Betty Horn in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
She was on here and asked for prayers. Shelly needs prayers. Her daughter showed up while we were live here.
Okay.
Shelly says, I had a list of things that I needed to do, and I have made good headway on getting them done. Made a telehealth appointment to talk to a doctor to get blood work done. Awesome. That's a good praise. Productivity is good. And what I do, this is part of my routine. At night before I go to bed, well, I do it in intervals. When I'm done working, I brain dump. And I write down everything, where I stopped, what I need to do, where I'm left off, so that I can put things down on paper so I don't forget. And I have it on my calendar. All right. And then at nighttime before I go to bed, I do another brain dump. And I dump into my calendar. Or if I'm already in bed, I will use my Workflowy app on my phone or Evernote, usually Workflowy for my to-dos. Evernote is my long-term, bigger note-taking app that I use. They're down below also. And then in the morning, what did you say? Workflowy. And then in the morning, I look at my calendar after my devotions and kind of pray on that for God to guide me through what needs to get done. And what doesn't get done for the day, because that happens periodically, it gets moved to the next day. I do the most important things first. We tend to procrastinate on some things that give us anxiety or things that aren't more favorable to us. Those are the things you should do first and just get them out of the way. But by doing those things and having that routine of keeping my calendar in check all throughout my day, things don't get forgotten or missed. And I know where I need to start off the next day. And if something comes up and things go haywire and upside down, it's on the calendar. I can just switch it to another day. I'm not trying to remember through chaos what all I had to do. So that's one of my routines. And it serves me well. That works also for anything that we want to remember. The vegetables and fruits we want to grow, and the fruit trees we want to get. All that gets written down. Different things when we're making things, like we saw binders for snowshoes yesterday that would work great for cross-country skis that we want to make. So I put that in Evernote so that I have, so I store things so that I don't have to go back and research them and find them again. I keep things already organized so I can easily find them, because that's another thing that drives me crazy is when you have to search and search for something that you know where it is, but you can't find it. I eliminated that with my computer, keeping things in order, and just trying to keep ahead of things, like all your insurance policy numbers, all your life insurance policy numbers, all that kind of stuff, doctors' names and numbers, prescriptions that you were on, all those things. If you keep a list of those, that's why I use Evernote. Then I can go in and I can search it and pull it up and find it. I don't have all the excess paper laying around, and I can easily access it. You can also back up Evernote so that you can even print it out from Evernote if you want to keep it in binder, so you can record it in there and then print it. So there's lots of ways to stay organized, but I highly recommend focusing on that because it makes life so much easier. You waste so much less time and have it to spend in other ways, and you create a nice routine that keeps you well organized. Let me see here. We got lots of things going on here. Carol says, "I'll bless you too. Love you guys. Love you too, lady. Prayers, please, for me." Okay, Melissa. Yes, sister, you got prayers. And I owe you an email. Things have been very crazy, so I will reach back out to you. You always throw me off with your username, so I'm glad you let me know it was you. Sorry. Deb says, "Sterling told me to tell you both howdy, Glenn and Tammy. He is still in CDA working with family and friends." Well, tell him we send a hello.
Tell him I said hey.
And Mama T says, "Glad you are home safe and sound, son."
I'm in one piece, Mom.
That's what we're happy for too. Yes. Awesome. Yes, we have lots of prayers today. So I will list all these prayers in our community. If you guys have not joined the community, please go over to TrayerWilderness.com/community and join. It's free. It's just a space where we can all share, and you can share your photos, your videos. You can share what you got going on at your place in the community. You can ask questions. We're all sharing. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's clean. It's wholesome, and I'm just so thrilled. Also, keep Nicole and Caden and Kayla in your prayers. They are Journey to Whole. She was joining us for quite a while there. They were led to move, so they went from I believe Southern California to up on the coast in Washington. Pretty far north in Washington. So they are in the process of moving and getting settled in. So pray for them as well. I got a nice little letter in the mail from Kayla the other day. That was so awesome. That just like totally made my day. I love that our kids are joining in on all this stuff. Herbert joins and Kyman is part of it, and Tammy with the kids, and Carol with Lorenzo. I love it. I love it. And that's what we need to do, because guys, when we are creating good and healthy habits and routines for ourselves, we're also bringing our children into that mix, because they see what we are doing and they will learn from our skill sets. And it is really, really important, because our world is a stressful place, especially for our children. I would not want to be a kid in school these days. It's just alarming to hear what's going on in our school system, for starters. Which reminds me to tell you, I really want to encourage you all to pick up the book, We Will Not Be Silenced. You can find it by going to TrayerWilderness.com/We Will Not Be Silenced.
You're in my way.
No, you're in my way. No, you in my way.
Listen, you. Don't get an attitude with me.
So I want to read something to you guys, because this kind of goes along with everything I've been talking about. You quit dancing with me?
Fine, I won't dance.
Look, I'm taller than you now.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I
No,
am.
you're not. You wish.
I look taller in there.
Yeah, in there.
All right, anyway, our antics. Genesis 28:16. Surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Jacob lived life on the fast track, doing business deals and making lots of money, unlike David, who was on the slow track, tending a flock of sheep in his pasture. But notice what each of them said about God. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. On the other hand, David said, I will praise the Lord who counsels me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Therefore, my heart is glad and my tongue rejoices. My body also will rest secure. And that is Psalm 16, 7 through 9. But notice the difference. Jacob was so busy that he failed to recognize God's voice or cultivate an awareness of his presence. I lost my place. But David said, I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Those words are perhaps the simplest and most best definition of a spiritual life. The Bible says we have the mind of Christ. You say, what does that mean to me? It means that the indwelling Christ can think his thoughts through you. I experience that a lot, and it's really amazing. When God, provides thoughts and guidance, when you're seeking him, he's very willing to share, and I love the way that's put. The indwelling Christ can think his thoughts through you. Isn't that awesome? When you have a feeling of reassurance or a sense of guidance, or you feel the conviction of sin, it means God is present with you. So pay attention and honor his presence by responding to him. Perhaps you've always wondered what it means to walk with God. Now you know. Our lives are so crazy and so busy. And last week my life was so incredibly crazy. But I know enough in my life and through my years that when I feel overwhelmed, is it like really strong? It's really strong. I couldn't smell you cutting it.
Your eyes are going to start watering.
But anyway, when I start feeling overwhelmed or I feel too busy, and that happens to us all. But what do you do when you feel like you're too busy? For me, I pause and I stop and I light a fire out at the fire pit. I sit down with my Bible. I go for a walk. I chill and I just let it be quiet. And I'm getting to the point where I leave my phone when I go to those places, because my phone vibrates and rings and beeps. And when he's away from the homestead, I turn my volume on. Normally my volume's off, so I just hear the vibration. But good grief, I didn't know my phone made that many noises last week when he was gone. Oh, so I want to remind you guys that when you get to that place of overwhelm and you get to that place of just in such a constant pace and constantly just pushing, to pause and to set habits and routines that serve you well. Are you making fun of my hands? I can't talk without them.
I didn't say a word.
No, you didn't. You just
I
did this.
I didn't say nothing.
But that is the important thing, is to create habits and routines that work for you, that create peace in your life and create joy in your life. So not only are you seeking positive and the gratitude in your life, but create spaces in your life that give you the comfort you need to do the things you need to do. I work out of my house. I mean, we work, play, and live here. So I want my place to be welcoming. I want my spaces to be the comfort I need to get things done, so I'm not distracted and I'm not procrastinating, and so that I can get what needs to get done and have time to play. Most of us are so busy working all the time that we don't have time for fun. And that's the thing. That needs to be a part of life. You can't just work all the time and not play. And you can't go through life in such a stressful place that you don't have peace either, because you're just creating illness in your body. I guarantee you. Miss Carol says that she wished you happy Mother's, not realizing you have it on a different day. That's okay. I appreciated it. Carol lives in the UK, so her Mother's Day was this past weekend, and ours is in May. So, or is it May? Is it May? Yeah, May is Mother's Day. June is Father's Day. Boots 32. where are you joining us from? We're crazy. We're crazy. I'm glad to have you here. Where are you joining us from? And may I ask your name? Welcome to our community. We have an awesome group of people here, and you are welcomed for sure. We absolutely love having new people join us. So, wasn't that a really good devotional and reminder? I mean, what a comparison that was to share the two different people and how one was so busy that they totally weren't even aware that God was present and the other one was just saturated by it. I love it. I'm from Brazil. Awesome. Well, welcome. That's so cool. So cool. It's a shame Jane's not here. Jane is moving to South America, and I'm trying to remember exactly where she's heading, but that's really awesome. Welcome. Let me see here. I think I'm going to read this one too. His plan has always been to adopt us into his family, Ephesians 1:5. In the Bible, God commands us to love one another. Interestingly, he doesn't command us to like one another. And that's a good thing because you can love someone and not like certain things about them. Paul writes, we are his workmanship. The word workmanship comes from the Greek word, I'm going to say it, but it's probably mispronounced, but poema, from which we get the word poetry. And poetry is a diversified and creative thing. It comes in many forms. That's why the Bible says God works through different people in different ways. He uses all kinds of people, including the ones we may not like or want to work with. A spiritual gift is given to each of us, and it's up to us to discover and develop it. Christ gave those gifts to prepare God's holy people for the work of serving. The word prepare is also interesting. It comes from a medical term in the original Greek. Doctors used it to describe the process of setting a broken bone. Stop and look around you today. Have you ever seen so many broken hearts, broken homes, broken dreams, and broken lives? If we who claim to be followers of Christ do our job right, they will find help and healing. God uses us to minister to one another, love one another, honor one another, and carry one another's burdens. When you think about it, the church is God's treatment center for everything that ails us. I love that. And if you keep that in mind, it will help you to love and get along with people you don't necessarily like. We are called to love everybody, but the truth is too, we all have gifts. And I kind of put that together with the previous one because when we are in tune with God in our lives, he will nudge you to do things. And sometimes those nudgings may be uncomfortable, maybe it's to step out of your comfort zone and help somebody that you wouldn't normally help. When we visit the Mountain Boy, often there's a lot of homeless people there. And when I have the opportunity, I don't give them money, but I'll give them food or talk to them. And, for some that may be out of your comfort zone. But we are called to serve and we are called to love. And when God nudges, you will know it if you are really paying attention and not too busy. And God nudges me all the time, and I've learned to be obedient because there was one time that I wasn't, and I still regret it today. So be obedient to his nudges and to his callings and love on people. And God does give everybody talents. There are people that will
love on you.
Look out. Not in front of the children.
Not in front of the children.
Oh my goodness. Laughter's really good too for the soul, and it is good for your health as well. As you can see, I get lots of that in my life. But I just wanted to encourage you guys. Today's encouragement is to set habits and routines, and part of that is slowing down and hearing God's still small voice. Acknowledging his nudges and his inspirations for what they are. And when you are nudged, to be obedient because you have a gift that God blessed you with that could bless others. So Carol says, bless him. Oh.
She doesn't always say that about me, though.
I do too. I do too.
Not always.
Andre is who is joining us from Brazil. Welcome, welcome. That's so cool. We have people from all over the country joining, and it's so awesome. I am going to get my little map out and start putting pins on it. Carol is from the UK, and I think everybody else here is from the States. Shelly's from Canada.
I haven't figured out where I'm from yet.
Yeah, Mama, you want to chime in on that one? What do you think? Oh, so funny.
I was hatched, wasn't I, Mom? I wasn't born.
Oh. Jane says, what did I miss? Oh, you missed a bunch. You'll have to go back and watch. But Austin, yes, Austin was I had two praises today. One was that he's still alive, and not that I tried to kill him or anything. With his work, I shared that earlier. Through a mishap in his job last week, one of the bigwigs turned a machine on they shouldn't have in a rush and should have been checking to see where everybody was. He was underneath, and by the grace of God, he came home in one piece instead of three. So that is a praise.
I'm alive.
He's alive. He's scary sometimes, but he's alive. And Austin God is blessing that boy so tremendously. Jane, Thursday, I reluctantly went in to look to see what his college balance was because it was due Friday. I did not have the funding for it. He did not have the funding for it, but we had put everything at the feet of Jesus. I shared with you Thursday morning that we needed prayers for provisions. And as I'm going in there, I'm like, oh man, how am I going to pull this off for this kid? And then I'm like, nope, God's going to provide more than we need. And I go in there and his balance was $2,045 and he had gotten a $2,100 grant. So we do still need prayers. He has $1,000 in books that he needs and rent and phone. But God is providing. I have no doubt that God will provide for this boy's needs because it's very clear he's walking out God's will. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. So let me see here. Carol says, I used to live in Hamilton, Ontario at Wellington Street North. That's so funny. Yeah, you and Shelley had mentioned before you were close to one another. Carol says, you are not going back there, Mountain Man, if they can't look after you, right? She wrote that all in capital letters. She meant that. I can hear her saying it. And
they haven't found a way to kill me yet, so
yeah,
I'm doing all right.
Mama T will chime in that that was probably life 16 or something like that. So he's past his 9 lives.
Yeah, no, they didn't make 9 lives for me. When God made me, he said, this one's going to need a lot more lives.
No kidding. No kidding.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
What, that you're adding new lives to your list and adding more marks on your belt, or...
It just doesn't scare me.
I know. That's how you told me about it. By the way, I owe you this. Because that's...
See, she was
abuse. Did you see?
She was swinging at me. She was swinging at me.
Well, this is what the man says to me. Yeah. As he's on his way home, I almost had a near-death experience today.
No, I said I about died today.
Oh, okay. He almost died today. Near-death experience. Okay, anyway, he almost died today. He goes, I'm totally okay with that, though. I know where I'm going, and you would have been okay. And I was like, what? And then he thinks it's funny again. Look. This guy, I'm telling you. Great news and praises. Absolutely, Jane. How are you feeling? Whoop. I hit a button. Whoop, whoop, whoop. How are you doing, Jane? How are you feeling? Yes, Austin, I'm so happy for him. Yeah, I am just so stoked. I went into happy tears on that one. They're not getting the chance, Carol says. You stay where we can keep an eye on you, Mountain Man.
Uh-oh.
Ugh, easy now.
You're in my way again.
Your butt's getting big.
Hey, that's not nice. Yeah, you tell her. Tell her, Mrs.
Tell him.
Tell her.
Mrs., are you going to tell everybody?
Tell her how
Are you getting sassy?
Tell him.
Get sassy.
Tell him. Tell him. Hey.
Are you going to tell him?
Tell him.
Tell him.
Tell him, Mom. Tell him.
Tell him, Mrs.
Yeah, tell him.
Get sassy. There's the head swing. That's my girl. Sassy girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Takes after you. No.
Oh. Welcome to our crazy world. You guys are crazy joining me, I think, sometimes. Jane says, mine gets a plunk in the head every once in a while, too. Same thing. Never thinks it's a big deal, right? I know. It's like, hello.
I've had a lot of kaplunks in the head.
Yeah, he plays his card every once in a while.
My concussion card. But I got seven major concussions, and that's not little knocks in the head.
No, your mama says he never has fear. That's why I have nightmares, right?
Oh.
Uh-huh. I hear you. I hear you. Jane says test came back within range was the message left this morning. So crazy. So crazy. Like I said, my next step would be the creating balanced health down below. Use coupon code Trayer Wilderness. I bet you they will figure out what's going on. I'm wondering if it's at like a level of minerals, and they can check everything in your system. That's just crazy. Is your hair still falling out like it was? Carol said, look at my foot muffs. Oh, gorgeous, she says. Hope has a mild concussion. They didn't do a CT scan, didn't want to expose her thyroid. They are observing her for an hour. Oh, jeez.
Oh, keep praying.
Yep, we'll keep praying. Oh, goodness. So, and that's good. It's a mild concussion, so... What are you doing biting me? Sheesh.
Yeah, that'll teach her.
So, hair's still breaking and falling out. Tired, cold. Yep. Well, we will keep praying for you, Jane. That's crazy. But I truly believe if you do the creating balanced health, you'll find some answers. Because at a nutritional level, we can improve those kind of things. So they'll look at everything. JJ said she was unsteady and didn't know what happened. She didn't know what happened to her second pair of glasses. She doesn't have a second pair of glasses. Oh, poor thing. Oh, my goodness. Did she split her head or anything, or did she just whack it good? Oh, man. Oh, okay. I got to watch my time here. I have an appointment. Jane says, I'm getting our water tested. Good idea. Really, really good idea. I don't touch city water at all. Mama says he keeps me on my knees. Yeah, you and me both, sister. Hello, Miss Kelly. Hello, hello. She says she just got home. Have a sick calf we're doctoring. Oh, wow. Shelly says, still praying for Hope, praying for Jane also. Kelly says, not easy because she's still strong and she weighs 400 pounds. Oh, my goodness. Right, so caring for that is a little bit difficult. Oh, my goodness.
And probably don't have a head shoot either.
Yeah, do you guys have a head shoot for her? Or it? I don't know if it's a he or a she. So crazy. You can definitely see the enemy just swarming. Guys, we gotta be in fervent prayer. No head shoot, she says. Yeah. Oh, that just makes it more fun. And crazy. How is Courtney doing? She's tame but a fighter, right? Headstrong, so it's, yeah.
Kind of like Tammy. She's kind of tame, but she's headstrong.
Oh, I love how he says this while I'm live, and then he walks to the other side of the room. Isn't he funny? Oh, it's good we work, play, and live well together because we're in 180 square feet right here. So it would be a bad thing if we didn't. She said it's an Angus cross. Nice. So shame. I hope you can figure out what's going on with it and remedy that soon. You can definitely see the enemy just swarming though, guys. Get into fervent prayer because the enemy is just attacking, and he's going to continue to attack us that speak his name. So I find that to be a privilege just because I feel we are called to make a difference right now, and to be under attack while we are serving him is a privilege and honor. So we will be praying for all of you this week. I will be live again on Thursday. I will probably go live. I wanted to go live last week and show you how to trim the wicks on lanterns and candles, because I need to do all of ours. I didn't get time to do it last week, so I will probably jump on with a short video on that this week as well. Let me see here. Courtney has another MRI on the 25th to compare the last one. Awesome. Okay. Is the MRI going to be there in Montana, or do you have to travel for it? Carol says he ain't stupid. He needs to be out of reach, right? I know. Shelly says, I've been praying for Courtney and will continue to do so. Yes. Funny, someone asked if I'd heard from my brother and hadn't since November. Yesterday he called and it wasn't nice. Oh, Shelly was having some struggles earlier with her daughter as well. So isn't that crazy? Wow. It's just, to me, I was going to say I'm not feeling under attack today, but my body is rebelling a little bit. So I am feeling under attack a little bit. But boy, to see everybody on here sharing all their prayer needs and all the things that are going on, it's like, wow, it's just, it's very clear. Yes, praise the Lord, we get to do it here. All right, awesome. Well, prayers for you with your brother and the calf, and we will continue to pray for Courtney for sure, all of you. And the enemy is stirring up trouble, big time. It's like so in my face this morning. It's afternoon. It's crazy. I'm confused. Oh wow, Laura's got pain and brain fog. Horrible. Crazy Monday. Yeah. Shelly says, I'm still waiting for an officer to arrive. Goodness, it's been an hour. Jeez, it's a good thing you didn't have an emergency or anything. Is she still out there? Kelly says, praying for Shelly and her daughter. We'll go back and read comments and pray for those in need. Yeah, there's a lot today, Kelly. It's quite crazy. I hope she's not dangerous, Shelly. She's just disruptive thus far. So, but thank you, Melissa. Yeah, he is. He's always faithful. That's why I'm saying, guys, get into prayer. And we will be praying you guys all up. I have to jump off of here right now. I have an appointment today that I've got to get out of here to get to. I'm probably going to be a little late. But I love all you guys. Andre, thank you for joining us. That's awesome. I'm so glad you joined us from Brazil. That's fabulous. Join us some more. And feel free to go to our community. We have a community area that you can join and communicate with everybody. It's trayerwilderness.com/community. And Melissa, Deb, you guys need to jump in there too. She has wandered to the neighbor. Jim is home, so I'm safe. Awesome. I was hoping that was the case. That's right. He's off with, is he still off all week? This week too, Shelly. Kelly says, I tried to witness to my brother, but he was so angry. Yeah, but you planted seeds, sister. I'm sure you did. Heading to a woman's prayer, we'll share these needs. Thank you, Mama T. That's so awesome. Really, really appreciate it. These are such awesome people. The enemy is just attacking, and it's very clear that he's grasping hold today. So fight back, guys. Put on your warrior. Ephesians 6. Fight back and don't let him get him off your shoulder. Get him out of your house. Pray him out of your house. Pray him out of your lives. He has no hold on us. Kelly says, love you too. Have a blessed day and praying for all the requests tonight. He is back to work. Okay. Well, just awesome. He's home with you now. Love and hugs and prayers to all and your families. Yeah, guys, so we will be praying, Kelly says, on our knees daily, morning and night. Awesome. Likewise, and we will continue to pray for everybody here. Feel free, if you're watching the replay, to leave your comments and your praises and your prayer needs here. Join us in our community. We would love to have you. Our community is growing in leaps and bounds, and it is just such a wholesome place. Love to have you. trayerwilderness.com/community. I will see you guys at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time on Thursday, and I may jump on in between, just willy-nilly. I don't know when. Deb says, thanks, Tammy, going many directions and in circles at times, praying for the right direction. That's what you got to do. Put it at his feet and ask him to guide you. Tell him, if it's not meant to be, to let it fall apart. Prayers for all here and families. Love you all. Love you too, Deb. All right, guys, you have a fabulous rest of your day. Love you. Thank you for joining me. Create routines, habits, and keep your eyes on him. Love you. God bless.